You see, in this industry, if you must be successful as a married person, you must have your husband's support.
Apps or softwares. Hello, my name is Jadesola and you're welcome to the Business of Baking Season 2, Evolve, telling the stories between. Today on the show, we have the very amazing, delectable and beautiful Mrs. B of Sweet Inspiration Cakes. So Ma, can we meet you?
My name is Folu Bamidele. I run Sweet Inspiration Cakes and we've been in business for a while now. It's actually started as a passion and today it's something to live on.
Okay. So you said you've been in business for a while. How long is a while?
If I'm going to say maybe officially, let me leave the when you have to, do some things at home and stuff. Let me say officially it's been like 10 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Okay, so how did you find yourself in the baking? Was it something that, maybe you just started to bake for your friends and family? Or how did it start?
Okay, growing up, I loved to bake. And I found out that when I see people baking, I'm kind of interested. I want to see what they're baking. And there was a time my elder sister went to the UK, learned how to bake. And she would bake fruit cake especially. I remember her making fruit cake for our first son then, and I just loved the cake. So from there, when I see people baking, I'm interested, I show interest and stuff like that. So anytime I go to visit her, because she had table mixers, some tools like pans and stuff like that, I will do some baking. Sometimes you get them burnt. You just keep doing that. If I remember when my mom was 60, I remember baking a cake and decorating with royal icing, even though I had to struggle with a lot of crumbs then. But that was just it. But it got to a time when my same sister was going to clock 50. So she was like, I should order a cake for her from Cakes and Cream. I'm like, okay, that's good. Then I was working on Allen, and I went with a friend to Cakes and Cream in Okwebi. When we got there, I saw queue. As in queue, people actually queued orderly to buy cakes. I was like, wait. I was like, you mean everybody here wants to buy cakes? I was like, yes. So while I joined the queue, I was observing everything they were doing. And I was like, I would love to go into this thing finally. I got inspired and I was like, okay. I asked them before I left there that day, after making my order, booking my order, I said, do you people train? They said, no, they don't train. But why? They said they don't really have the time there. They're very busy, so they don't train. That was it. So after then, anywhere I see cakes or something, I'll walk in there. I'll ask them, do you train? I'll try and also observe what goes on there. Whenever I'm having my birthday, I don't even attempt to bake for myself. I will order cake because I want to taste cakes, other people's cakes, and know what it tastes like. I have a very unique palate, so I can detect anything in food, cake, or anything, even in drink. When a drink is perfect, I can tell you it's perfect. When it has aftertaste or for something, I can tell. So likewise cake. So I've tasted a lot of cakes and I'm like, I know the kind of cake I want. There is a way it tastes, there's a way it looks. And I started going in search. So one day, I wanted to try and bake and I went to Ogba to buy some baking materials and stuff, ingredients. So I saw a flyer, Creative Cakes by Bolao. So I picked it. I looked at it, it was going to have a training, a class. I looked at it, it was clashing with my job, so I had to approach him that I want to train, but I have issue. There's no how I can combine it. So I had to split the training into two. I did the training for 2 years. Yes. My annual leave was actually 4 weeks.
Okay.
So I took the first 4 weeks to attend the baking class and some decoration. By the following year, I went back again to complete the training. So from there, you know, I started making small cakes. One of my sisters used to work in the bank. On Friday, I would bake some like 5-inch on ice. I will take them to her house. She will take them to the office. Some of her colleagues pick them for the weekend. And I started doing that. And from there, for some of my friends, I will just bake and give out and decorate. And from there, and it's nice, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And that was how I started. And I was working. And I remember after a while, I got a friend who has an in-law who wanted to get married or something. So she told them that to make their wedding cake. I said, hey, I wanted to do it, but I was at the same time scared. So she was not like, they live at, there's this estate on the highland. I can't remember the name now. So she was like, okay, she would like to see my cake first. Do like a trial and let's see what your cake do. So I baked the cake. So the way they wanted me to cover it, I baked the cake, took it to Creative Cakes by Bola to go and do the decoration there. And I went to deliver the cake. So they loved it and they ordered the wedding cake. It was a 3-tier wedding cake, and I had to take a week leave in my office for that wedding cake. Wow. Because it's not something I could just go on my own and just say I want to work at night and stuff like that. So after that wedding cake, and the bride's mom was very happy. She was like, oh, I love the cake, this, that, and you know, that built my confidence. So I approached some fast food that I know they could sell cupcakes and things like that. So I went and said, okay, I could supply. So I started with 20 cupcakes. From there, 50. I was supplying 100. And it was actually moving. So there was this particular fast food that was supplying. They had their first branch, and I was already giving like 100 cupcakes. So they were opening a second branch, and they said, if I could supply a decorated cake for their chiller. And I said, why not? I can give it a try. So when I come back from work, I'll quickly bake those cakes. First thing in the morning before leaving home, I'll do a decoration. On my way to work, I drop them off and I go to work. And that was how I was running. So when I saw that it was becoming consistent, so I took a staff who was coming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 times a week. And sometimes I bake down for her, just decorate for me. And in fact, by 1 o'clock, she's done and gone. When I come in the evening, I will go and supply them. And that was how I was doing it. My confidence level was growing. And at the same time, I was also learning, trying to learn. Although I didn't really know so much about online. There was even no online.
Then it wasn't this popular.
It was not this popular. So was doing a lot of book recipe and things like that, a lot of failed recipes. They will put them there, you do them, but you don't get the exact thing. And I'm this kind of a person that I'm never comfortable with. I love excellence, so I want as much as possible to give my best to it. And so that was how it all started. And at a point I said, okay, let me open a store. We opened a store on Akowanjo Road, and from there I was also supplying I got another stuff, making too. So when I'm coming from work, I stop over and stuff like that. When there's public holiday, I also go there, and on weekends. So but I found out that we only spent 2 years there. For that 2 years, I can't remember if we made, apart from a wedding cake that we did, from working, it was an upstairs. So that was when I also discovered that upstairs is not even good for business. A lot of people say, oh, you guys are upstairs, I can't climb upstairs, and they just walk away. For that one whole year, for a whole year, I can't say I made 100,000 from working. So it was that bad. But I was doing my supply, I was going on. But when it comes to working, although I got some customers, that are still with me.
From that place.
Yes, till now. And after that, at the end of the first year, I started looking for a space where I could have a front office showroom, like a showroom where people could walk in, and that was when we got the land at Moshalashi on Ipaja Road, and we decided to build the place. After building the place, we only spent 2 years. A lot of people got to know us there though, and because I wanted something that people could see us through from outside. So especially in the evening, we always work late. And once the light is on, people in the bus will be looking, what's going on there?
It was very catchy.
Yeah, so a lot of people got to know us, and from there, a lot of them are still with us now, and that was just it. We got some others on Instagram and stuff like that, but that was a particular, we had a particular breakthrough
in that place,
even though our stay was very, very brief. It was very, very brief. So we had to leave there because the land was sold, and we were not even given the opportunity to put ourselves together. They just came up, served us paper, and they fenced us up. So we had to just shut down and relocate, and that's how it has been. Until 5 years ago, I said, well, I think I've had enough. My 8 to 5 is enough, and let me face my business. And it's been awesome.
Okay, so you just resigned 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So you were doing everything up until 5 years ago?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a question. We'll be back to that. Okay, so one thing that you've said so far that I can see is that you've talked about, you have a passion for knowledge.
Yeah.
You saw a class, and you were constantly buying recipe books that helped you to develop your craft, even while working. Because I think really consider the fact that you had a 9 to 5, and I'm very sure you were still delivering 8 to 5. Oh wow. And that's probably like maybe 6 to maybe 8, because going to work and coming back.
Yeah, you can imagine.
So how are you able to, one, what fuels your passion for seeking knowledge, and how are you able to combine, being, I know you shared the part of it, you used your leave, but beyond that, how are you able to combine being a full-time staff in a company and you're still delivering on all your deliverables and still seeking knowledge? How are you able to balance the two?
You see, what happened is, it all starts with the passion I have for baking. When I see cakes, it's like a pregnant woman that is going on the road. When he sees it, she can hardly miss a pregnant woman on the road. She will always see somebody that is pregnant, or even you can pass and won't know that somebody is pregnant, but she will see. So it's just like when I see a cake store, oh my goodness. In my office, there was a time I was like a supervising manager. I supervised some of our branches, so I go around. When I'm moving from one branch to another and I see a cake, I walk in there. I buy cakes just to eat and just check what they are doing there. Yeah, so I had this passion that no, I want to have a brand. You see, when I was leaving school, I had no intention to go into entrepreneurship or anything, into business. I had no intention. I've always loved the situation. I had sisters who were corporate workers.
So you always wanted to be a corporate
Oh my goodness. I want to wake up in the morning with my skirt suit, go to the office. I've always loved that. So business never crossed my mind. So but it got to a time I'm like, somebody owns this business also. And she comes to the office just like, she's working in a multinational also. So I'm like, I can also own a business and run it the way I've always wanted to work. Do you understand? I come to the office well dressed and so why can't I do such a thing? So immediately, I started with the passion I have for baking and with all the stores. I mean, when I go to Surulere, I stop over different stores.
And there are quite a number in Surulere.
I'll stop over. If those who have small cakes, I'll buy. If you don't have, okay, I thought I could get something to buy. I'll work out. But everything is my, what I want to get, I already got. I already see the way you set up, the way you do things and things like that, So with the kind of passion I had, I want to improve on it. I want to have the best. I don't want to make a cake that people will complain about. And that's why I kept going from one recipe to another, changing and changing and changing until I got what I wanted. And one other thing about cake is the flavor. When I eat some cakes, it's nice, but I'm very particular about flavor because I know it enhances your cake. You can have a good recipe. If you don't have nice flavor, forget it. So I kept looking for how to get a very good flavor. I tried different flavors to see if I could get what I actually wanted until I got it. In fact, I had a challenge at a point in time in searching for knowledge and things like that. After registering for courses here and there, every time I bake, people will tell me, sometimes people will tell me, your cake tastes so nice, but it's crumbling. And I was like, crumbling, what is the problem? I did a lot of Google search. I did a lot of search, asking questions. Sometimes I join classes, not because I don't know what they are doing there or I want to learn something, but I want to find a solution to why my cake was crumbling. But you see, I also observed that this same cake, when you put it in the fridge, it firms up. By the time you cut it, it's no longer crumbling. So what is the problem? What's the reason? With all the classes I went to,
you didn't get it.
I didn't. But at the time, in fact, there was a lady who got us through Instagram and ordered a 2-tier cake for her niece. We made the cake and it was very nice, beautiful. And only for her to send me a review that she's so disappointed that the cake was just crumbling. Her sister was so upset, blah, blah, blah. But you see, one thing that amused her or that surprised her was she took the cake to the office. She kept it in the fridge and took it to the office. And by the time they got to the office and they shared it, the cakes were standing where they were not crumbling. And everybody was like, this cake is nice. And so that she gave me a detailed review. And in fact, that was what broke the camel's back. I'm going to sit down and find solution to this crumbling. And that was exactly what I did. And I found out what the problem is. And that was the end of it. I had the issue when the issue of red velvet and everything came up. I've baked 12 inches red velvet and I've had to trash it. Why? Because maybe the up is red and the down is brown. And so many issues. And sometimes I feel in those days, maybe not anymore though, some people were not too truthful enough about the training. They don't disclose everything. And I did a lot of training. Sometimes when I sit down to calculate how much I've spent on training. Because I know
the first time I met you was in a class.
Hey, okay, sit in Georgia.
Yes.
I will always opt for, whether if you give me free, fine. But I'm not really particular about it being free. But I was looking for I want to learn certain things and maybe I was trying to solve a problem. So, and I will keep going on and on and on.
Until you find the solution.
So when I don't quit, I have a goal. And
so until you get that solution, you don't care whatever it is, you keep seeking the
I don't
knowledge.
give up easily, especially if it's what I want. If you chase me from here, I'll try another method or try another means. If I don't get it from you, I will apply again. I will enroll in another place. And I keep going on and on and on and on like that. There's some people, I bought their books just to get the recipes and stuff. There's some of them I even still use. But you see, I keep changing recipes. But you see, I found out that my vanilla cake, I found it difficult to really, okay, I've changed it a few times, but I have to maintain the flavor because when I change flavor, some of my customers will tell me, oh, sweet inspiration, that taste that we've always liked, it's not there. So even when I change the method of baking, I'll use the same
Flavor.
flavor. And I don't use that vanilla direct.
Okay.
So there's a way I do my own. So to just achieve that, and my customers love them. And like I told you earlier, I've tried on grace. That's number one, because I tell you, some of the things I do is basically grace, honestly. And again, referrals. I get a whole lot. And I tell people, 90% of my customers came in as referrals. Not that they were just passing, although we got a lot of people at the other store because we were on the road and they feel, oh, these people sell cake. But from those who came in there for that brief period we were there, we've got a lot of referrals from them. And one good thing is a lot of our customers have stayed with us for years.
That long?
Yes. I have some families that we started baking their cakes from scratch.
Some even did their wedding.
Birthday.
Oh.
From first birthday. In fact, one was going to, he's going to be 8 now. We've been baking their cake from the very first cake they ordered from us was his first birthday. And we've been baking for the family, baking for their friends, baking from anything they have to do in the family. So we have so many of them like that. They have stayed with us. And you know, sometimes when you look at the number of customers that have stayed with you, you know that definitely you are doing something right.
You're doing something well, yes. Well, so from everything you're saying, I'm just hearing that there's a particular standard that you like to keep. And that standard is actually what continually brings the customers into Sweet Inspiration. Okay, so I want to ask, one thing you've said is excellence. You like things to be done excellently. So aside from excellence, what other principle do you hold dear when it comes to your business? Running a business generally.
Integrity is very, very close to my heart. You know, I've had situations whereby you order a cake from us, and maybe when I was trying to look at the cake and I feel, okay, with this, I should be able to achieve this. But in the process of baking or decorating, I found out that this cake, with what I have charged, this is what I'm supposed to do. But I found out that maybe it's not going to give me what I already told the customer. I don't think about what they paid anymore. I want to keep my name. I want to keep to my words that I've told them, this is this. In fact, it's just like even now that prices change anyhow. If I'm giving you a price and I get to the market and it's more than that, I won't change it. Because people should be able to believe my words. Take me for my words. Not that I go forth today and I call you back. No, I won't call back a customer. During COVID, we took orders, weddings, we took orders that were supposed to be delivered. But because COVID happened, we had no choice. I didn't because of that, oh, we have to start paying extra. In fact, some people, a woman ordered from UK for her daughter's wedding. They were coming to Nigeria for the wedding. And she said she had paid, as in full. They paid full. Full payment was made. But COVID happened. They couldn't come. And eventually, they decided not to even come for the wedding again. Fine, people have no refund policies. But for goodness sake, it's not their doing. It's not because it's just like it's unplanned. So, and one thing is when I get like orders that is a bit far, I don't touch the money. I am very, very careful about money. I don't dip hands and I don't spend anyhow. So I don't touch the money. So when I saw that they were not forthcoming and things like that, they got, according to her, she said that the only thing I deducted was because we had printed the favor boxes for the wedding and everything. I just took out the cost of all the expenses I've already incurred concerning the wedding, and I refunded everything. And she was so grateful. Like, apart from me, every other vendors they paid have refused to refund their money. See, I don't have that kind of conscience. Me, I don't have heart for trouble. So, and I have a name to protect. So your money is your money, you know. So that's one thing. And again, once it's like when we bake and the cake didn't come out well, I won't say because I've wasted money. I will trash it. And we have to do it all over. Integrity is key because, and I want to believe, as a result of that, a lot of people have just stick to us and say, oh, these ones.
Because they believe your brand.
You know, somebody said to me recently, customer said to me, it's because I get whatever I want every time I order. And that's why I keep coming back. I have never ordered a cake and I felt disappointed. So even when I charge them so high, they say, well, I believe you because I know you will give me the best, you know. So integrity is one thing I don't joke with.
Don't joke with
At
integrity.
all. At all. At all. At all.
Okay. Okay, so thank you so much, Ma. It's been so insightful. In total, how long have you been baking? Because when you were in 9 to 5, up until now?
If I'm going to, I think I have, from home, I was baking. I think I started around 2008.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, I think, yes, trying my hands on cakes and stuff like that. Yes. 2000, because it was 2009, my sister did her 50th birthday.
oh, okay.
And yes, that I went to Cakes and Cream. And you see, that was one of the things that led to the name. Okay, although when I remember when I was going to open an email sometimes in the office and a colleague of mine was like, what do you want to write as your email? And I said, Foley Inspirations, you know. So when I had the encounter at Cakes and Cream, what a sweet inspiration. And that was what brought about
the name Sweet Inspiration.
The name Sweet Inspiration.
Okay.
Man, because I was truly inspired. This is the thing I've been doing, maybe like even 2007.
And then you now saw a bigger picture of it. So you saw a possibility just by going into Cakes and Cream.
Yes, yes.
Wow,
yes.
and that was in 2008.
2007, 2008. It was 2009 I went to Cakes and Cream.
Okay.
Yes, to order for our 50th birthday
cake.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Okay, so you, for as long as you've been in business now, for this long, what's like your most memorable baking experience?
Now, I had the good and I had the bad.
Okay.
I had the good and I had. So, okay, the first one, the wedding, the first official wedding cake.
The one you shared before.
Was a very good one. In fact, another good one I had was I got a customer. Somebody told me about a boss who wanted to make a cake for her daughter who was getting married, and I remember telling me, and when I told her, gave her an idea. Okay, she wanted to do this. She had ordered the wedding cake from Tosan, Cakes by Tosan, and they didn't want to order the two cakes from him,
them.
so they wanted to. So she just told them about me, and this is me still trying to, you know, get my feet. I was not even totally in heat then, and okay. That was in 2012. Yes, that was 2012, and I was like, and I had to do cut-off of 1,000 pieces.
Wow.
I was working.
Sorry, we should do that.
1,000 pieces, and I had to do 2 tiers engagement cake that had a couple
sitting on it.
The traditional couple sitting on it. I didn't know how to mold. So I've always seen Miss Abeg. I remember going there to order for that topper, for them to mold the topper for me while I did the cake. Because there was a champagne gold, I didn't know how to achieve it.
Wow.
I took my cakes after decorating and everything to mix and bake. I paid for them to spray into a champagne gold for me.
Wow.
Because I can't afford to disappoint somebody who had ordered a wedding cake for Cakes by Tosan.
Tosan.
And now their engagement cake is a big society wedding, I'm telling you. And I made so much from that wedding because I was told if your price is too cheap, they won't order from you. So I had to do a very good calculation and honestly, I made so much money.
From the
So
wedding
much
cake.
money. So it was an experience I can never forget.
And I think one thing I'm also hearing you're saying is that you're retracing the fact that you always want to deliver excellently. You didn't mind going to cakes and cream as long as mix and bake. As long as you're
I deliver
getting
what I wanted.
Yes.
Oh, no,
so you're retracing the fact that you'd always go the extra mile to actually get the best done.
Yes.
And I also think that it's also what would probably one of the things that have actually kept you in business that long. You know, people being able to say, oh, I trust this person to deliver.
Yeah.
All right, ma. Thank you, ma. Okay, so would you say that this business, the baking business, would you say it's profitable? Like, is this something that you think that, oh, maybe a young child is saying, oh, I want to go into baking. Is this something you advise that, oh, you can go ahead, it's profitable?
You see, I will tell you, yes. Sometimes I read the story of on Instagram of somebody who said the fiance introduced her as a baker and the in-laws got offended that how can you marry a baker when you let her go and get a good job, she can't be baking. And I smiled. I said, this one don't know anything. I've always thought I would continue to work in corporate organization. At the end of the month, I earn my salaries. I thought I was doing well, but until I came into business, and I saw that, I've always learned that you cannot have money more than the person paying you. No matter how hard you think you can work, the owner of the business will still have much more than you. He's still the one paying you. And from there, when I started my own and everything, sometimes I have summer baking class, and some secondary school children, they come around, and I told them, see, if this is really what you want, please focus it. Because if there is anything, if I'm opportune to do again, is instead of going to work when I left school, if I knew earlier enough this was what I was going to do, but I didn't start pursuing it until I discovered myself. If I knew this earlier, I would not have gone into what I went into. I first went into insurance from there and stuff like that. I would not have gone into, I would have looked for a way, if it is just to even be employed by them, because it has a whole, that's why, the impact cannot be quantified. You can't compare it with somebody who has first gone. I spent over 20 years working before I came into baking. Wow. So why waste? Well, I won't count it as waste
because
though.
You got experiences.
Yes, I won't count it as waste though. But the truth of it is, if it's what you want to do, just face it as early as possible. I tell parents, please let them do it. We had a family friend who they wanted to relocate, but the daughter has always told them she wants to bake. I told them, please let her do it. She's still young in secondary school, but you can't tell what she becomes when she travels. So, and she came, learned, and everything. It's good. I encourage as many young people that want to learn. And I tell people that come to learn, though we don't do group class. I think the maximum we've done at a time is 2. More of private classes. When they come, I encourage them, just focus it. If you focus it, it's a good business, honestly. You just need to know how to do your pricing. And once you have the quality that people will appreciate, or people want, then you will make your money. Because one thing I discover is what you do will definitely stand you out. And when you are diligent, it's a matter of time. You will start standing before kings.
Thank you, ma. Okay, so one thing that is currently happening right now is the hike in price of everything. So prices are getting higher and higher, and it's not like, oh, maybe the price increase once in 6 months, or it's sometimes like
every week.
Yeah, like the increase comes in a week. So how are you able to still maintain standard and still make profit to run the business in this season?
Okay, that's one major challenge we have as a business. The price change in price, frequent change in price. But as much as possible, for my cakes, I don't compromise quality. I would rather increase the price. If you can't do it, I'll just let it be, you know, just let it go. But if I to put it on percentage, the number of people that have turned down their orders because of price are very few of them, very small. And the only thing is, I know some people, they don't do small cakes. But you know, they try to reduce the size of cake. They also understand the fact that because it's not only baking industry that is affected.
Yeah.
Even your rice at home,
That's
even meat,
price.
yes, goat meat,
everywhere.
even garri that is not dollar, it's up because they are also in the same economy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's affecting everybody. So when you explain, a whole lot of them will understand. Those who cannot go as far as
they wanted to,
you know, they can drop the size and say, okay, let me do a smaller size, you know, things like. So it happens.
All right, thank you,
But for no reason will I compromise
on standard.
because
So,
once you compromise, and what's the essence of paying so much?
because when they now get the cake, the standard has dropped. They might never come back. They most likely will never even come back again. They'll go somewhere else. So rather increase the price and maintain quality. And I think what you're saying, I think a lot of Nigerian businesses need to get it. Because a lot of times, some of them will even increase price and reduce quality. Why are you doing this?
The worst we have done is to reduce size. If it used to be bigger, we could reduce size.
So maybe like a layer, one
exactly.
layer.
Even though the price has gone up. But it's not as, but you are still getting the same value.
Okay, thank you, ma. All right, so the next question. One thing we know about this our industry is that there's always trends. Things are always changing. We're always evolving and all that. Maybe January they might say, oh, there's is a wafer paper something. February, you know, how do you keep, you know, evolving with the ever-changing trends? How do you keep up?
You see, one thing I know is, there's only one thing that does not change, and that is God. Everything will change. We all change. We change in stature. We change every day. So things will change. The only thing is be positive about the change. Try to. Okay, I remember when Sharp Edge.
Yeah.
When Sharp Edges came, I was like, who came up with this? Before I even discovered that it was Dewdrop. I said, who came about this thing and give you somebody headache? Ordinarily, you will just cover your cake and smoothing and you are good to go. But now you want to battle. I remember taking a lot of classes online. I did some on-site, but majorly online on how to get Sharp Edge. In fact, it got to a point I got fed up. Because I've paid so much
money to learn Sharp Edge.
And honestly, when they do it, it looks simple. But when you try it yourself, you are not just getting it. Sometimes you get it after hours on a one cake just to get Sharp Edge. So there was a day I came across another baker on the Instagram. He's a guy and I called him. See, it's not that I don't know how to cover cake. I know how to. And I've taken this class in so many places. Please, I don't know if you can help. Before I sign up for your class, I just want to talk to you. And he assured me that don't worry, you will get it. at the end of the day, the videos and everything was very clear. And that is the same method I used till
that
now.
you're still using.
And that was how I was able to get the sharp edge. So a lot of things keep coming on sharp edge today. Now it is chocolate fondant ganache. It's ganache fondant that is trending again. Although I've had to do that a few times, but sometimes people don't want to pay for it, and I say I would rather not do it than doing it. You know what liquid whipping cream costs now, and so they are not cheap. So if you want to then you should be ready to pay. You know, so things keep changing. Just keep flowing with it so that you don't become outdated. That's just it. Be positive about the change, because when you are offended, whose fault? Everybody have moved. You are still complaining. You know, the best is just move with them so that you are not left behind. Be positive about it, and if you are positive, it's easier to learn.
Adapt, to learn. Yeah. Okay, so how do you balance trying to keep up with trends and still retaining your own originality?
Okay, you see, when it comes to all these cakes thing, I am more particular about what is inside your cake.
About the flavor, the taste.
The taste of that cake. Because you can actually bombard people with beautifully decorated cake, and by the time they eat it, it's no. Do you understand? I'm more particular about what is inside, and once that is settled, I have a way of doing my own thing. But that's why it's not every trend I jump at though. But you see, people send you pictures to replicate. So when they send you pictures to replicate, what do? You just have to replicate it. Even though I have my own way, of covering whipped cream. It might not be like another baker, you know. I just have my own uniqueness of doing it. But when people send you pictures, your own uniqueness has to stay one side. Just do what a customer wants. Honestly, that's just it.
All right, thank you, ma. Okay, so what's the most challenging part of this business that you faced so far?
The recent one is the price. However, power is one major challenge.
Yeah, I agree.
Power. We run generators for hours, and I tell you, it's not cheap at all. That's one major challenge that I have. Although recently they brought us to Bangay suddenly, maybe because they want to increase the tariff.
Yeah.
They brought us, and life has been, power has been a bit stable. That's just it.
Okay, so if you are going to spend 1 minute to advise the government now, you're going to say fix power.
Honestly, they need to fix power. We spend too much on fuel.
That could be going into building the business.
Too much on fuel, too much on generator maintenance, because they are running for too long, too many hours. And we have 2 generators. We are always switching from one to another. But honestly,
there was power.
We've had occasion where for a whole 2 weeks
there was no light.
There will be no light, and we have to run on generator. And we have freezers to power. Like people will say, when Nigeria happens to you, you know what happens. You have to jump the entire thing in freezers. Sometimes on Sunday that we are not open, after church, I come here
to come and
sit down, on the generator
for the freezers.
Yes.
Wow.
It's very. That's one major challenge.
Wow.
So
have you thought about doing solar?
Yes, I have. In fact, recently I got some offers on it, but we have not concluded on that. But I don't really know the extent to which they will be able to power our freezers,
the oven.
Power the oven. The oven doesn't even consume so much. Yeah. But the mixer does, especially the 30 liters mixer. Once you on gen like this, the way it pulls, once you on it, there's a way it pulls the gen, you feel in gagang, So I don't know if inverter will be able to carry such.
So how do you handle staffing and also preventing theft being able to manage everything, managing people?
You see, I would say when it comes to managing people, I have a special grace. I'm a very, very tolerant person. Why? One, I believe no one is perfect. Everybody they've got their own flaws. They've got their good, they've got their bad. Even for the worst of the worst staff, she still has her good parts. Do you understand? So I deal with them based on that. When it comes to their weakness, I deal with it squarely. And once I deal with it, I move. I don't dwell on it. I won't come and remind you about it tomorrow. And I have staff that have been with me for 10 years.
Ah, wow.
I have 7 years.
Are you?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Although I've had a few that came in and
Left.
and things like that. But those ones, none of them stayed for 1 year. Those few ones. And one thing I also discovered about staffing is people that have responsibility, they tend to stay well on the job. They have families to take care of. They have children, they have fees to pay. They stay with you. And in fact, there was a time when some of them had babies. And I knew we were busy, we had jobs to do that. I know when it gets to a particular time, they will start looking at the time they want to go. I told them to come with their babies. Yes. I told them to come with their babies. We created a space where we normally use for training. In fact, I don't know if you saw, you will see when you went in, like a carrier, one big baby carrier. Okay.
So they were able to bring their baby.
Bring your baby there, and they don't disturb the job. So once they have small babies that can distract them, maybe they will call them, hey, your baby is running temperature. You're this. There's nothing like that. So they are here with them, and so they can put their mind in what they are doing. So most of my staff don't go. I don't change staff like that. Just once in a while, maybe I need.
So you have perfected managing people so much that
yes,
they stay
even
for
me,
long.
I know, because I have some friends that come here and say, so this person is still with you. Well, you can tolerate people, but you see, they have their good part. There's some of them that can be naughty, but when it comes to staying extra hours, these ones won't go. They will stay with you.
So you're going to focus on the fact that they are dedicated.
They will stay. They could have other aspects that is terrible, but not like it's terrible that cannot be managed. Do you know? Do you understand? So that is it. There's no perfect person anyway. And I found that the young ones outside now, they're not ready to work. They are just looking for money. When you come interview them, they will tell you one big amount. This is somebody who has no experience at all. But you know, and again, I try as much as possible to be involved in their lives. I try to be involved in what goes on
in their
lives. Okay, what's happening? You have a challenge at home and things like that. And when it comes to medicine, okay, my elder sister is in the medical line, so I stayed with her at a point in time, so I learned so much about drugs, about care, medical stuff, and so even when they come, sometimes I prescribe them, tell them go and take this drug, and it just works perfectly. Once you tell me the symptoms, so when it comes to their family, I'm also a part. Something will happen. Oh, my baby is this. What happened? What happened? How did it happen? Okay, bring the child. This child, the one I know that my baby dies, take her to the clinic, and But there are some things they don't really have to go to the clinic. It's just a little,
So you're saying
my
that
baby's having rashes,
and then
I'm part of
their lives. So because they are working in a place where they feel that it's like a family, so exactly. they feel dedicated to the job. So you've said that
I have some that have even left maybe because of relocation. I have one that I worked with him for like 7 years, but I had to relocate to where the husband is. They live around Mowi and stuff like that. And she will, when the husband is around, I can stay with the children. She still comes around.
Wow.
Yes. If I've been bad to
So
her, she
she won't do
wouldn't.
that.
And there are some of them that they are even somewhere, and I call them, are you, when we are very busy, are you free? I am. Oh. I can come. Shisha one, you know, that kind of thing, and they show up. You know, it's like that.
So building great relationships with the
Yes,
team
goes
members.
a whole long way.
Okay.
It's not every time they do things you kill them over it.
Sometimes
You talk. Sometimes you scream, self. Well, you know, that's just
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma. Okay. So, finally, if you're going to give an advice to somebody who is just starting and who wants to come into the business, you know, considering it, and what are the advice based on all your experience?
Be passionate, focused, and diligent in whatever you're doing. Know what you want to achieve. Know what exactly. Because another thing is, like somebody said, if you don't know where you are going, every bus stop looks like it. So the first thing is identify what your goal is, what you want to achieve, and identify that, pursue it, be dedicated, be committed to it, you know, and diligent. The sky is just the beginning.
Okay, thank you so much, ma. It's been such an amazing and inspiring time just having you tell us the story of how you've been able to, you know, start and continue to build. And I'm very sure that there are people who watch this and they would really feel inspired to actually.
And
really
honestly,
start.
if I should add, do you know that when I was going to start, I started with less than 5,000 naira?
Oh, I think that's interesting.
I started with less than 5,000 naira because I just bought a few these, and I think I bought cupcakes things. All the cupcake things I bought then was 300 naira.
Okay.
Yes, for a dozen. 300 naira a dozen. And all the things I bought was less than 5,000 naira. And I started.
And you kept building on.
And I kept building. And I remember at a point in time in my office, you know, I was part of the cooperative. And every year they bring out a list of household goods of what people want to buy, TV, generator, here and there. But I went to the head of the person that was in charge of the cooperative, and I said, please, all the things you have on your list, I don't want anything. What I want is not on the list. I want a mixer. And he was like, okay, if that's what you want, can you get the supplier to bring the invoice? And I called him and he came with the invoice. Right there and there, they gave him his check and he brought my mixer. Wow. That was the first major equipment I bought. And after that, the next thing I bought from the same cooperative was generator. I'm still using that generator
until now. So
it's like a backup now.
For the other one that you have.
I bought another one after, but the very first generator I bought
was from the cooperative.
Yes, was also from the cooperative.
So the business has been financing itself over the years.
Honestly, I've not gotten loan. No, it's been. The things I buy, I bought them from
the business.
Yes.
Okay, ma. So I'd like to know, how do you balance out being a family woman and being in business?
You see, in this industry, if you must be successful as a married person, you must have your husband's support. If you don't have his support, I doubt it to be a thorn in your flesh, you know. So, but I have that support, and by the grace of God, as of now, my children are grown up. We have some in university, some are done. So they are not babies I have to keep following. In fact, they are not even around me. I think I only have the last one around who is rounding up our SSE. So they are grown up, so they are not people I have to run after. Most times they are in school. So it's just between me and my husband. So and as long as he has have his support, it
makes it
easier. Yes, it's tough sometimes because to make dinner sometimes because you don't leave work until you are done. A customer won't come the next morning or waiting for his order and you are saying, sorry, he's not ready. You are not like a tailor who will disappoint people or a carpenter, you know. But this business, you can't disappoint. I've had occasions where I have to make food here
I take it
to
home.
take it home because I know I'll be getting home very late or things like that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. It's been such an amazing time having the conversation with Mrs. Bamidele of Sweet Inspiration Cakes, and she's been able to share her journey from how she got inspired to start a baking business to growing and building it. She's also shared with us how excellence and integrity are some of the most important principles to her, and how she's been able to keep her customers coming. She has also shared with us how she's been able to manage her staffs, that some have been with her for 10 years, 7 years, just by building a personal relationship with them, and not also focusing on their weakness, but also building their strengths. And it's been such an amazing time having this interaction with her. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like and share with your friends, and don't forget to wait for the next episode. Thank you so much.